Hello, welcome back to my channel. So I am filming this video in 2024 because I didn't film it before the new year, and now it feels weird to be talking about books that I read like last year, but this is my December reading wrap up. Put that down. I read a lot, just like I always do. And we're going to talk about them. I'm going to go through the books that I read, tell you what I rated them, give a little synopsis, spoiler free, of course. So these ones next to me are actually in the reverse order from what I need them to be. So let me grab. The first book I read in December was See You Yesterday by Rachel Lynn Solomon. I can't remember if I briefly talked about this at the end of last month's wrap up because I was reading it like right when I was finishing the month, and I can't remember if I decided to include it in November or not. But needless to say, I did read this and finish it in December, so I'm putting it in here. I gave this one 4 stars. This is a YA Rachel Lynn Solomon book. She writes both YA and adult rom-coms, so you can get a little bit of both from her. I've read pretty much all of her catalog. I have like maybe one that I haven't read by her yet, but I think she is a brilliant author. I love her stuff, and so I was really excited about this one. Maybe less excited than others because it's like a time loop situation, and time loops aren't always my favorite, but this one, somehow, it really did its thing. I loved the MMC, what's his name? Miles. Loved him. I loved both of them, actually. I don't know what I'm saying. Rachel Lynn Solomon writes very inclusively. Barrett is plus size, and it's just, I love to see it in a rom-com. So thank you, Rachel. Moving on. Next, I reread A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Mist and Fury because, as you know, Crescent City 3 is coming out at the end of January, and I decided after finishing Crescent City that I wanted to reread ACOTAR. So I reread these two at the beginning of the month. I have since reread some other ones, but since I'm going in order, these are the two that I read next. Obviously, great books. A Court of Mist and Fury might be the best ACOTAR, the best book in the ACOTAR series. It's very good, and I love seeing Reese and Feyre. Their relationship in this one is just so good. Honestly, ACOTAR is very good as well. I give 4 stars to ACOTAR and 5 to A Court of Mist and Fury. That's what I gave them the first time around, and I'm sticking with my ratings. SJM can do no wrong in my eyes. Next, I read Star-Crossed Holiday by Sarah Diem, and I filmed a video where I was reading Christmas books, and I read this one in that video. So if you haven't seen that video, go watch it, although it's a little bit late since it's now past Christmas, but it was just it's in a series. It's like a second in a series actually, but I have not read the first one. I just wanted to read this one because it was Christmas themed. But basically it's like an actor, a famous actor in a small town for filming a movie. He gets stuck in an elevator with our FMC, and he's a single dad. He needs a nanny. She nannies for him. It's like all the Hallmark tropes in one, and I loved it. It was a Hallmark movie in a book. So if you like that, then that's for you. But I ended up giving it 3 stars. Next, I read Along Came Holly by Cody Hall. I gave this one 4 stars. This is a conclusion to a series, and there's 2 more before it. Each book follows a different sibling, and the small town that they live in is called Mistletoe. And again, it's your Hallmark Christmas movie turned into a book. It's enemies to lovers ish, like as enemies as you can be when it's not like high stakes fantasy. And it was really sweet. Great. I can't really say bad things about a Christmas rom-com. They're great. Next, I read Protective Heart, Fearless Heart, and Reckless Heart, which are books 2, 3, and 4 in the Starlight Cove series. It's by Brighton Walsh. I read them all on Kindle Unlimited. I think I read the first one in November, and then I read 2, 3, 4 December. There's a fifth one that is not out yet, but comes out later this year. Will I read it? Probably, because I want to see who the last brother ends up with. But again, it follows there's like 5 brothers and a sister, and it follows a different sibling in each book. Could I tell you what the tropes were in each one? There was fake marriage of convenience. That one was 3 stars. There was best friends to lovers, 3 stars. And then there was best friend's brother, 3 stars. So, great tropes, very spicy, but you can kind of tell what the vibe is going to be based on the covers. I mean, you know what you're getting into. It's spicy, it's low stakes, but they're fun. Next, I reread another book that would be Out on a Limb. This is actually my second time reading this year. I read it at the beginning of the year, and December is the time for rereading. That's what I tell people. That's what I tell myself. I reread ACOTAR. I reread this. It's just, you want to be cozy and comfortable, and that is a reread. So that was Out on a Limb. There's a new cover being revealed soon, which I think is exciting because she like indie published this, so it has like that matte cover, and she got picked up by publishers, so she's like releasing it with a new cover. So I'm excited to see what it looks like. But this is the indie cover. I don't know if they still sell this, or if they do, there's only like another week before they're gonna discontinue this and then re-release it with a new cover, so keep that in mind. But basically the tropes in this are, maybe not tropes, it's accidental pregnancy, but Christmas. Shouldn't have done that. Should have read it when I was here, not when I was home. I didn't need my family around. Like, spicy, majorly spicy. It's reverse harem. You know the vibes. It's fake dating, and they're like across the hall neighbors. But I kind of loved it. Like, it's like, how good can it really be? 3 stars. Next, I read A Winter in New York by Josie Silver. She also wrote something else, 10 Days in December or something like that, that was a book of the month book that I did not read. So this is my first Josie Silver. It was really sweet. It was like, I don't want to say typical. It wasn't giving rom-com, or it wasn't giving Hallmark movie, but it was a Christmassy, wintry romance book. I do think that she did a good job writing about Iris, the FMC. She has a history of she left an abusive relationship, and she writes about it really well. I love Iris and Gio together. I think they were such a cute couple. It's another single dad, and I don't really think there might be a few year age gap, but it's not big. But it is single dad, and it's kind of dual timeline. It's mostly in one timeline. There's a few chapters that are like a past timeline that follow Iris's mom, and I thought it was really good. I gave it 4 stars. Next, and the final book that I have physically with me, is A Court of Wings and Ruin. As I said, I'm rereading ACOTAR. I'm currently in the middle of Frost and Starlight, which is kind of fun because it's like a Christmassy novella. But finished this month, 5 stars. The rest of the ACOTAR series, I mean, Frost and Starlight's not really 5 stars, but after the first book, 5 stars. They just get better and better. Except Mist and Fury is the best. But this is basically a war novel though. It's a lot of battle scenes. It's a lot of them. So keep that in mind. But 5 stars. And the final book that I read this month was Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. I've never read anything by Lauren Asher before, and I know a lot of people love her, but I've just never picked anything up by her. So Love Redesigned was my first one, and it was great. Loved it. Another billionaire romance. I'm looking for the rich guys out there. Not really, but it would be nice. This is 3.5 stars for me. It was childhood enemies to lovers. Was it groundbreaking? No. But I had a 4-hour flight from here to Phoenix, where I was for New Year's Eve, and I finished it on the flight. It was perfect for a flight. So those are all of the books that I read in December. Thank you so much for following, subscribing, doing all the things this year. I can't believe it's 2024. I have a plan to film a going through all my books, reorganizing my bookshelves, and unhauling books video for the start of the new year, because I've gotten so many new books this year. My shelves are really unorganized, and I have a few books that I could probably stand to get rid of that I won't read, didn't like, etc. So hopefully that video will be coming soon, but thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys. Mwah.